Vietnam accuses Beijing of seriously violating sovereignty in South China Sea. China's latest activities in the South China Sea have triggered a strong protest from rival claimant Vietnam, which said the move seriously violated its sovereignty. The complaint came after China announced on Sunday that it had set up 2 new administrative districts on the Paracel and Spratly Islands. The 2 districts, which China referred to as Xisha and Nansha, will be under the control of Sansha, a city the Chinese government created in 2012 to assert its claims over the South China Sea. Vietnam's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Le Thi Thursday Hang issued a statement of protest on Sunday and said the move would further complicate the situation in the South China Sea. These acts are not conducive to the development of the friendly relations between countries, and further complicate the situation in the East Sea, Vietnam's name for the South China Sea, the region and the world. Vietnam demands that China respect Vietnam's sovereignty and annul its wrongful decisions and not repeat similar activities in the future. Under the new plan, the new district of Xisha will be in charge of Paracel Islands, which are also claimed by Vietnam and Taiwan. The Nansha district will manage the Spratly Islands, where there are also multiple competing claims. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Zheng Shuang said on Monday that the establishment of the new districts was in line with China's normal administrative rules. China has been resolutely opposing Vietnam's words and deeds that undermine China's sovereignty and rights and interests in the South China Sea, and will continue to take necessary measures to firmly safeguard China's sovereignty and rights and interests, he said in a press conference. Vietnam is the only claimant which has publicly protested about the move so far, but Zhang Minglian, and specialist in Southeast Asian politics with Jinan University, said it was likely to have alarmed other members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN. Setting up such districts will not have much use or actual benefit, and it will cause opposition among the ASEAN states, many of which have long been suspicious of China's intentions over the South China Sea. The coronavirus outbreak has already caused some grievances among them toward China, even though they have not been as vocal as the Western countries. Richard Hadarian, an academic and former Philippine government advisor, described the move as China taking advantage of a strategic vacuum created by the COVID-19 crisis. On the one hand, it's engaging in face mask diplomacy, providing medical supplies to other countries, but on the other hand, it's on the offensive. All of them should be seen as part of one package in which China seizes the strategic opportunity of not only its neighboring countries scrambling to deal with the coronavirus outbreak, but also the U.S. Navy's suspension of overseas appointments. China has recently become involved in a series of standoff with other claimants in the contested waters. A Chinese government survey ship reportedly tagged an exploration vessel operated by Malaysia's state oil company Petronas in the area, and remained off the Malaysian coastline as of late Sunday. Earlier this month, Vietnam launched an official protest with China after a Vietnamese fishing boat sunk after a collision in the Paracel Islands. Beijing claims sovereignty over most of the South China Sea, directly challenging the territorial claims of its neighbors, the Philippines, Vietnam, Taiwan and Malaysia. with tackling the coronavirus pandemic, prompting the United States to call on China to stop its bullying behavior there. On Saturday, Beijing said it had established an administrative district on the Paracel Islands and another on the Spratly Islands. The two districts are under the control of China's Sanxia City, according to China Global Television Network. As one of the youngest cities in China, Sanxia City was established to administer the Zixia, Zhuangxia and Nanxia Islands and their surrounding waters in the South China Sea. The official Chinese military website states. It adds that Sanxia City only has around 1,800 permanent residents, with the smallest land area and population in China. The establishment of the so-called Sanxia City and related activities seriously violated Vietnam's sovereignty. Vietnam's Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Le Thi Thursday Hang said in a statement. Vietnam demands that China respect Vietnam's sovereignty and abolish its wrongful decisions. A Chinese government survey ship was seen earlier this week tagging an exploration vessel operated by Malaysia's state oil company Petronas in the disputed waters, and remained offshore of Malaysia as of Sunday. Earlier this month, Vietnam launched an official protest with China after the sinking of a Vietnamese fishing boat it said had been rammed by a China Coast Guard vessel near the Paracels. Last year, on a state visit to Vietnam, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison took a thinly veiled swipe at Beijing's aggression in the South China Sea. Mr. Morrison used a speech he gave in Hanoi to emphasize the importance of an open, inclusive and prosperous Indo-Pacific neighborhood. In 2016, an international court found China had no legal basis to claim historical rights in South China Sea.